Hey everybody, thank you for joining me. So today's video, we're going to be working on this sketch right here. I found it on Pinterest, and the strip down the middle with the black and the pattern really interests me because I'm working on the white challenge from Scrapbooking, my little scrapbook store. For the month of July, they had like different challenges each week. One was red, one was white. I think blue was this past week, and then this week coming, it's going to be red, white, and blue. And so for the white challenge on the mood board, which I should have grabbed a picture of, it had a clock with it was white with the black numbers and trim. So that's why I decided to do a black and white layout. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at the picture, and where the photos go, there's a little piece of paper that kind of sits underneath of it. And so I was trying to find a piece of paper that had some interest, but it could fade in the back as well. And so that's why I got that one piece right there. And then these two strips at the end of the sort of like cut apart sheet, I cut those off, and then I'm just going to cut them down to about the size that I want it to be as far as going across the middle. Mine is a little bit thicker than what they have drawn for, that particular piece right there. But then these other two, I decided I'm just going to trim them down about half, like almost like 6 inches, 5 inches. And then that's plenty. If I need to, I can trim down more for my flag pieces. And as far as the layout itself goes, I like the fact that it's simple, but we can still have some fun. I got, these two photos I'm doing of my friend's dog. I can't remember what the mix is, but her name is Piper. So the one picture is when she first got her, and then I don't remember exactly when the other picture was, but I love the fact that they're both of her in a blanket of some sort, and then the older picture looks like she's looking at herself by the way I have them laid out. So I decided instead of doing tissue paper underneath the photos, I'm using the thicker vellum again. And now that I've found my pencil, which you could see I was searching for there for a minute, I decided that I'm going to do like a 4-inch line that's going to go up the entire 12 by 12 paper. And I'm just going to connect these lines. And then we're going to grab the black gesso. Now, I've never played with black gesso, but black gesso works just like white gesso. The fun part is that it's going to allow us to do some white embossing on the white paper and have it stand out. You could also do you know how Missy Whidden, for those of you who don't know, find her. If you love doing layouts, find her. I find her to be very inspiring, frustrating, because I love her work so much, and it's like whenever I try to do stuff, it never seems to come out quite like how she does it, But it's flattery, for sure. I'm definitely a fangirl, okay? But she likes to use a lot of distress inks, the distress oxides. You could use black gesso, create a strip, and then have the color kind of like cross over. We're going to have to do that on another video. Just that quick, I had another thought like, oh my God, another layout, I'm going to have to do it. Okay, so once it's dry and I hit it with the heat tool, I'm going to grab this sort of like an animal print or cheetah print stencil. And I'm using the light paste, and we're going to go ahead and fill in, and I am going even over that line, so a little bit does go onto the white section, so it's more tone on tone. But when you look at the actual layout, it just has a little hint of something else there. And when we go further and I start doing a little bit of shadowing around the cluster that we're going to create, some of that white on the white side gets a little definition because of the little bit of gray ink or watercolor we're going to be using. So I just went all the way down, and anything I got off on the edges, I just scraped up using the palette knife. And then, important, go clean your stuff, because you don't want that to harden on your stencil, and you don't want it to really harden on your palette knife either. Okay, so once it's dry, we're going to start layering our pieces again. And I did zoom in a little bit, and hopefully it doesn't, yeah, it's not really cutting off that much. But I'm just kind of laying things out, trying to figure out exactly where I want it, how I want stuff to lay according to the sketch itself. I was trying to find the thread that I got from Altenew. I figured this would have been a good place to use some of that. It's more like a silver thread, but I wind up not being able to find it. I think I put it away, and that's what happens when you put stuff away. At least that's my theory. Okay, so we're going to use some of these acrylic pieces, the hashtag happy. That's going to be where it winds up staying. And then part of one of the collections I got from my little scrapbook store had these black and white phrases or words on it. So I decided to use, I was going to use the heart with the remember, and then I decided to go with real love and the heart, the black heart. And the fact that these are on like plastic already, I just cut out the word, like literally cut it out, leaving it on the plastic, and that allowed me to put it down. And then if I need to move it around, that's fine. And when I'm ready to place it, then I can just peel the letters off. So for the flags, I'm just doing the cut down the middle, and then from each side up to create the little flag end. And then once I like where I'm going to put the bottom, the white piece, I'm going to go ahead and put a little tape on it and make those one. And I set them aside, and I almost forget about it. You'll see here in a second. Okay, just had to get a little drink of water. All right, so for the white paper that we cut out that we're building up our picture and everything else on, I decided to put some fun foam behind it, and that's going to give it a little lift up off of the texture. And then with using that black strip, I realized, okay, so I'm going to need some on both ends of it as well. So I'm going to cut a few thin pieces to go underneath on each end, and then we're just going to use regular tape runner and some art glitter glue for the part that goes against the white paper, so that way it's all on the same plane. And now I'm going to go ahead and start attaching the photos to the vellum, and then foam pieces behind those as well. And this time I just took the sticker edge and put it down on the images, and then when I'm ready to glue it, I'll just use some glue and or tape runner to lay them down. Same thing with the other photo. Try and get it as even as possible. And then we're good. I mean, she was so cute as a little puppy. All right. Same thing with this one. Adding the foam on the back. Now with this, you could do, there's so much more you could do with it. I keep it pretty simple for this particular video. But it's a black and white challenge, right? So you could do stamp, just like outline stamps on white paper, and then fussy cut them out, or use your, if you have the matching die set, you can cut that out. We could have cut out a bunch of black and white circles or whatever and created like a pattern going up behind where the photo cluster is. There's a lot you can do with this. I wanted to keep it pretty much close to what the layout itself was, minus a few things that I just didn't do. Like I didn't have that piece of paper that looks like it's torn, and I on this video I don't do any journaling. I have a plan to put some journaling on it, but I didn't do it on this video because y'all know I don't like my handwriting, and I hate it even more when I'm filming myself writing, okay? So I'm not gonna do it on camera. Okay, so brief interruptus. I'm gluing that down and putting it in its spot. And then we're going to wind up, putting the photos almost just like that. I'm going to go ahead and start gluing them down. And I like lifting stuff up because even though I have foam underneath there, there is a little bit of a space. So if I wanted to, if I had other stuff that I wanted to put underneath, like ephemera pieces or things like that, with it being lifted up, I can tuck underneath without having to try and lift and pop and ply back up the stuff I've glued down. On this acrylic piece, I'm just putting some art glitter glue down underneath of it and pressing it. It seemed like it held it pretty tight. I got it right here actually. Yeah, I mean, that is like a crazy hold. It ain't going nowhere. I like that. And then where I put the real love, I didn't have to worry about putting any glue or anything like that underneath because I didn't put any gesso on that circle. So all I had to do was really take them off the plastic and put them down. Now, for those of you who have to have everything perfect, breathe in, breathe out. My words are crooked. It's going to be okay. It's what makes it me. What makes it mine. And I'm okay with that. So I lift up my picture here because this is where I almost forgot the flag ends. I literally almost forgot them. And so I was like, you know what? I wanted to have a little bit more definition. So I grabbed my Inktense Pencil. It's one of my favorites, especially on layouts and stuff. I'll use it to kind of go around the edges of stuff that I've laid flat because I want it to, I know I've said it already, but have that dimension, give it separation. It's almost like inking your edges, what that does for people who like to do that. I tend to forget to ink my edges. I could have done that and probably would have solved my issue and I wouldn't have had to do the pencil. But, you know, I just wasn't thinking like that. I really wasn't. So I just grabbed my little water brush pen. I tapped it to the pencil and put color down all the way around. And I move my project so I can see, you know what I mean? If I have to put it upside down, then I put it upside down. I just want there to be a little bit of shadow. I'm creating a shadow underneath the photos and the different areas just to give it some interest. And I already have in my mind the plan that I'm going to be splattering. So, you know, that's a done deal. But this time, instead of doing 3, I'm only going to use black and white. I know. You know, sometimes you got to shake it up. So I'm just putting a little bit more down kind of straight onto the paper and then using the wet bristles to kind of smooth it out. And then I leave it at that and I go ahead and grab my Black Soot Distress Spray, which, get it. If you guys don't have it, go get it. You need to go get it. I like the Distress, the Picket Fence, and I also like the Black Soot and the Distress sprays. And then I just recently got the gloss spray in the white. Who is it? Is it Dana Wakely? Am I saying that right? I hope I am. And I would have used that as well, but I used the white basically in the section where the embossing is, and then the black around on the outside pieces. And I really like how it turned out. In the close-ups, I do wind up just like, it's inevitable, right? You gotta smear something. Something's gotta still be wet, and you gotta smear it with your hand. I think it's the law of averages or something. It's gotta be something. The struggle be real, y'all. So here are the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and share button. And please hit that little bell next to the subscribe so that way you can get an alert whenever I upload new content. And I will see you guys with our next video. Have a great one.